So, you're injecting testosterone to be a king in the bedroom and a beast in the gym. But, hold up. What you're really doing is signing a contract to make yourself infertile. That needle feels like salvation, a cheat code to confidence. But your biology, it doesn't care about your ego. Millions of young men are turning to testosterone. Prescriptions for men aged 15 to 39 have tripled. You're not alone, but why? In the next 12 minutes, we'll reveal why chasing strength with testosterone could be making you weaker, turning the very thing you're trying to fix into a bigger problem. But if it's destroying our future, why does it feel like the only way to survive the present? Here's the twist. That feeling isn't confidence, it's panic wearing a crown. Something is happening under the hood, quietly. Statistically, it's been happening for decades, and you're feeling the effects. A landmark study confirmed a terrifying reality. Global testosterone levels in men have been dropping by roughly 1% every single year since the 1980s. This means a 30-year-old man walking the street today has approximately 20 to 25% less raw testosterone flowing through his veins than his own father did at the exact same age. You aren't just imagining the fatigue, stubborn belly fat, or flickering libido. You are, quite literally, a diluted version of the generation before you. To understand this primal need to boost yourself, realize that your masculinity isn't a permanent structure. It's a system update requiring constant maintenance. And right now, that system is under siege. You are stuck, crushed between the rock of economic stress mortgages, career ladders, inflation, and the hard place of digital perfection. You see an influencer on TikTok who is 45 but looks 25, ripping his shirt off, and your brain screams, "I am broken." So, you panic, you look for a cheat code. Data reveals a massive shift. Search trends for TRT clinics jumped 400% in 10 years. The market was valued at $2 billion and is projected to double by 2030. We aren't treating a medical condition anymore. We are treating a cultural anxiety. You decide to close the gap. You inject the oil. But as that golden liquid enters your muscle, what does your brain actually see? It doesn't see a hero, it sees a hostile takeover. To understand the trap, think of your body as the corporation. In a natural state, the manufacturing plant in the basement. Your testes works hard to produce testosterone based on the demands of the CEO, your brain. It's a perfect ecosystem, but when you inject, you aren't helping the company, you're just throwing billions away, with nothing to show for it. The external consultant, the drug, enters the building. Efficient, aggressive, and free. You wake up with a strong signal, like industrial piping, a clear sign the system is fully pressurized. A Harvard medical study confirmed what every gym bro knows. Even with normal initial levels, adding more T creates super physiological effects. Muscle fibers rebuild overnight, twice as thick. You feel dominant, focused, and invincible. This is the honey trap, appealing to our fear of weakness. The needle offers a way out. It promises you can be the lion without the hunt. You feel like the king. But the body operates on a ruthless budget called homeostasis. And while the CEO is partying in the penthouse, he's about to send a memo to the basement that will liquidate the entire company. The party is loud, the profits look good, but deep in the basement, the red phone on the wall is ringing. The CEO isn't calling to say good job, he's calling to fire everyone. Quick reality check. Are you betting your biology on a Reddit thread? Your endocrine system is the only asset you can't sell. If you want the science, not the hype, subscribe. Now let's go down to the basement. You think you are topping up your manhood. In reality, you are sending pink slips to your own factories. Here is the negative feedback loop. Normally, the CEO, brain, sends a daily work order, hormones called LH luteinizing hormone and FSH follicle stimulating hormone, down to the factory. These hormones tell the workers to get the machines running and make natural testosterone. But when you inject, you flood the market. The CEO looks at the blood levels now skyrocketing to 1,500 nanograms per deciliter and screams, "Stop! We have way too much inventory. Cancel all production immediately." The pituitary gland obeys, it cuts the phone line. This is the biological layoff. Because the external consultant, the drug, works for free, your internal workforce is redundant. The Tesla's factory shuts down. And in biology, the rule is use it or lose it. When a factory isn't used, the body doesn't pay the rent. It demolishes it. This is testicular atrophy. Your factories literally shrink to the size of peanuts because the corporation has decided they are obsolete. And it gets darker. That FSH signal you just canceled, that was the power source for the sperm department. We are already in a fertility crisis. Global sperm counts have dropped 62% since 1973. By injecting T without safeguards, you are accelerating that decline to zero. This is the great irony. You look like the ultimate alpha male on the outside, broad shoulders, beard, muscles, but inside, you're sterile. The factory is dead, the workers are gone, but you don't care, because the consultant is still delivering the goods, right? Wrong. The excess shipments are starting to pile up in the hallways, and the corporation's lifeblood is turning into toxic sludge. The high is over. Now comes the clotting. One of the most dangerous side effects of exogenous testosterone is erythrocytosis. Testosterone tells your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. But when you abuse T, the marrow goes into overdrive. Your blood gets thick, viscous. Imagine your heart trying to pump warm maple syrup. Your heart, the pump that keeps the corporation alive, is now redlining 24/7 just to move this sludge through your system. Blood pressure spikes. The risk of a stroke or a pulmonary embolism hangs over your head every time you squat heavy. You are building armor on the outside, but inside, your engine is about to blow a gasket. And the glitches keep coming. The skin. Oil glands explode. You get cystic acne on your back and shoulders, adult men looking like pubescent teenagers. The breath. Sleep apnea. Throat muscles change and you start snoring like a chainsaw. You stop breathing in your sleep, starving the CEO brain of oxygen. The estrogen spike. The body panics and uses aromatase to convert excess T into estrogen. Suddenly, the king starts developing sensitive breast tissue, gynecomastia. And then, the inevitable happens. The crash. Maybe you run out of money. Maybe you get scared. Or maybe you just miss a week. The synthetic T leaves your system in days. But your natural factory has been closed for months. The machinery is rusted. The workers are gone. It takes months or even years to restart a dead factory. This is where the horror sets in. Your T levels crash to zero, lower than a 90-year-old man. The muscle melts away. The libido vanishes. You are trapped in a body that you broke, alone in a silent, bankrupt corporation. You chase the alpha feeling, and now you are a ghost. The building is crumbling. The bank accounts are frozen. Is there any way to reopen the factory? Or have we signed a bankruptcy deal we can't escape? The collapse is terrifying, but it doesn't have to be the end. The corporation is resilient if you fire the consultant and start managing the business properly. The failure wasn't the testosterone, it was the philosophy. The failure was the mindset that more is always better. If you are already on the train or thinking about buying a ticket, you need to wear a seatbelt. Here is the survival protocol for you. 1. Blood work is your balance sheet. You cannot run a company blind. Nearly 30% of men on T take it without prior blood work, playing roulette with their biology. You need to know your hematocrit level. If your blood is too thick above 54%, you're playing with fire. Donate blood immediately to thin it out. Also, watch your estradiol levels. Ignore this, and you'll end up angry and growing breasts. 2. HCG, the stimulus package. If you must use testosterone and your doctor agrees, you cannot let the factory die. HCG acts like fake orders sent to the basement. It mimics the LH signal. It keeps the workers active and the machinery running, preventing your testes from shrinking away. It reminds your body that it still has work to do. 3. We have to confront the paradox. We inject T because we feel inadequate in a world that demands we be superheroes. We treat our bodies like machines to be hacked. But you are not a machine. You don't need a system override. You need sleep, the ultimate testosterone booster. You need zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D3. You need to reduce the visceral fat suffocating your organs. Sometimes the most masculine thing you can do is not to inject a drug, but to have the discipline to sleep 8 hours a night and eat real food. Now let's close the loop. Why does this feel like survival? Because modern life is running a slow bank run on masculinity. Less sleep, more stress, more plastic in the food chain, and more isolation. So when a clinic offers a needle, your nervous system doesn't hear hormone therapy. It hears instant relief. It feels like oxygen, like you're finally back in the fight, but relief isn't repair. If you skip the fundamentals, you're not saving the corporation. You're just renting confidence at a brutal interest rate. The world is getting harder. The plastics in our food and the stress in our jobs are waging war on our biology. But now you know the mechanics. You know the price of the needle. Don't let your manhood depend on a 10cc glass vial. Build the factory, don't just hire the consultant. If you want to arm yourself with knowledge and survive the modern age, click like and subscribe. Comment checklist below and we will pin the list of the 5 mandatory blood markers you need to watch before you even look at a needle. Good luck, CEO.